What's up, my sexy little Sudachis? This is Rob from A Gay Guy Plays, and I've only had 2 hours of sleep. Regardless, today on The Snapshot, we're ready for a pounding when we take a look at the Tekko Prime. Now, as with all primed weapons, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to the wiki down in the description box below, mainly because of the fact that y'all know I am too damn irresponsible to keep track of when things get vaulted, unvaulted, or when new relics are added in. Just do be aware that it does require Mastery Rank 12 to craft. However, if you do not want to deal with any of that, you can always pick this up in Atlas Prime Access while it lasts. However, I sure as hell did not, because I ain't buying shit till DE gets their shit straight. Okay, so before we jump into combat, let's go ahead and take a look at how this stacks up on paper against its non-prime variant. So as you can see, the attack speed has received a bit of a bump from a measly 0.917 all the way up to 1. I wish it was a little bit faster than that, but listen, beggars can't be choosers. And then as you can see, the critical chance hasn't been touched, but the critical multiplier has jumped from 2.0 to 2.4 times, and then its IPS has also been boosted, so it's gone from 72 at its base up to 89.1. Now, there is a really interesting thing with the status chance here. Now, as many of you guys know, the original Tekko has an affinity for the original Atlas. When you are using the Tekko on the original Atlas, you actually get a 6% boost to its status chance. So as you can see right here, it only sits at a 10% status on normal Warframes. And the comparison is now it's gone up to 26%. But I'm going to show you something weird. So if I just equip the original Tekko on Atlas Prime, it does not register as being Atlas, which is weird. So you can see right there, it's still sitting at 10%, right? However, if I go ahead and put on Atlas, so let's toss that on right there, as you can see, the status chance has jumped up to 16%. So you get a 6-point boost when you're equipping the Tekko on to Atlas. However, the same can't be said when it comes to the Tekko Prime on what do you call this? On Atlas, or the Tekko Prime on Atlas Prime. So as you can see right here, the Tekko Prime is still sitting at 26%, right? So that 26% doesn't change, so it doesn't seem like there's any affinity for the Tekko Prime onto Atlas Prime. Does that make sense at all? In fact, I'll go ahead and grab Baruch real quick for comparison to kind of drive the point home. It's still sitting at 26%, and the Tekko, if we go ahead and equip that, only sits at 10%. So it's this weird affinity thing. You would think that DE would kind of be consistent. So if we have Atlas Prime, that the Tekko Prime would also have a bonus 6% to its status chance. However, it doesn't. Maybe that's just an oversight on their part, or they didn't want to give any kind of additional advantage or synergy with the Warframe itself. But I know that some people had mentioned that there is a synergy between the original Tekko and the original Atlas. I guess you can't call them the original, but the non-prime variant versions. So I know I had to address that here. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull up a level 165 Billy per usual, and I have to admit, I do not like fisting weapons at all. It's the lack of range just makes them difficult to use, but I have to admit, after I saw this combo, I have to kind of admit that I love it so much. Look at how fast that melted that stupid Billy. Like, legitimately, I was like, what? For those of you guys wondering, that is the Gaia's Tragedy. I think it's the E-hold combo. That one just absolutely, I mean, you have to time it right because you do have a little dash punch. And I'm not really big on finicky combos, but that's good. Like, there's no dots, there's no damage dots ticking off on him. That little motherfucker's dead. And the great thing about the Tekko is because of the fact that when you do those rapid fire punches, you have a really, really high status chance, and your primary source of IPS is gonna be slash. So you get a lot of that slash procs in there. Let's see if I can. So you can see all those slash procs just ticking. You can just see him eating away at the enemy, and if you get a viral proc on there at the same time, oh boy, is it juicy. You just see it going at work. It's really, really nice. And you start getting orange crits and everything. So it's really fun to rack that up. However, I have to admit, again, when I was leveling this up, it was a bit of a pain because you just don't have the range on it. At its base, it's like a little bit, it seems like it's a little bit over 2 meters, right? Like, it's about 2 meters-ish. And, like, that's just really, really painful in a fast run-and-gun game, right? You're, like, running around, and you just have to get, like, up close and personal. Now, with Alice, it kind of works because you can always landslide into an enemy and then go ahead and punch them. But you also have to, like, realize that with Atlas, you can literally just landslide. So it kind of, to me, doesn't make that much sense. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's a great pairing, at least in my opinion. But at least we can kind of relish the fact that that combo exists and rapid fire that enemy to death. So you got to take the wins where you can. So you can really can't call him a one-punch man in this instance. It's like a multiple punch man. So let's go ahead and take a look at the build that I am currently using. Then we're going to try out a different combo because I did want to highlight it. I was playing around with different stances to see exactly where I wanted to go with it. But as you can see, we have all of the basics in there, and we are running a hybrid build. Surprise, surprise, as if you guys didn't see that coming. We've got Blood Rush on there as well as Condition Overload, and I did go ahead and toss in an Organ Shatter. The elemental that we are using is Viral because of the fact that we do have such a highlight in the slash, and I've got Drifting Contact in there as well. Now, I played around with Fracturing Wind. I didn't really love it that much. But Seismic Palm shows a bit of potential specifically for the block combo, and it's because of the fact that it opened enemies up to melee finishers. So as you can see right here, the shotgunny one is nice, but this one just gets right down to business. It's just not, I'm gonna knock you in the face and then I'm gonna finish you off straight out of the gate. So for me, I'm not 100% sure which one I prefer more. Right now, I'm kind of leaning towards Seismic Palm just because of how direct and to the point it is. But listen, if you guys have feelings about Fracturing Wind down in the comments below, aside from the fact that yes, it is a variant of Breaking Wind, which would be farting. Funny DE. But beyond that, let me know if anybody has a good case for Fracturing Wind, or if really these are the stars of the show right here, because I mean, look at the quick work that you can do with that. And because of the fact that it's really, really easy to, well, I mean, unless you're going up against really, really low level targets where like the first few hits end up killing them anyway, then you won't be able to trigger some of maybe the melee finisher, what is it called? Melee finisher arcanes out there. You know what I mean? Because I know that there's Trickery, which you could, you know, go stealth in, and there's the Ultimatum where you can go ahead and get some more armor with. But legitimately, I mean, if you want to use that as a tool to kind of buff yourself up a little bit, you can definitely go ahead and do that. But I think it's a nice little variant. And Seismic Palm definitely allows you to kind of do some gap closing because of the fact that it is a little bit jumpy. But in like, what is it called? In testing, I guess I would say. In testing, it makes it a little bit hard because it will knock enemies around and whatnot. So there's a little food for thought there when it comes to choosing the stance that you are using to make fists a little bit more bearable, because really fisting is just not something that I can personally take, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. Regardless, let me know how you feel about the weird knots having a synergy with Atlas Prime signature weapon down in the comments below. Also, what's your favorite fisting stance? How do you like it? Toss that down there as well. All in all, I have to say statistically, I think that it's a good weapon, except for the fact that it does lack range, and that's really what hinders a lot of these shorter range like claws and shorter range fisting stuff. That's kind of where the pain point is for me, and I wish that there was something that was added in that would kind of make them unique and different. I was thinking something along the lines of Venka. Venka Prime has the unique combo multiplier that goes up by 0.75 instead of 0.5, and to be honest with you, that's what I'm actually going to be using with Atlas rather than the Tekko, because that multiplier does work with his landslide. So part of me is like, I can't even say that's his signature weapon because he's not getting kind of like bonuses out of there, unless maybe there's another secret bonus that I don't know anything about. If you know about it, put it in the comments as well, and I'll pin it so that we can make light of that, because listen, when you're running off of 2 hours of sleep, everything kind of mushes together and you're just happy that you get to punch things. Regardless, and that just makes me miss Borderlands 3, to be honest with you. Regardless, that's gonna do it for me for now. Leave all your feelings down in the comments below, and as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. Don't forget to like this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!